Hi guys, today we're going to be doing 1-5, which is on the distributive property. A few things we're going to talk about vocab wise is the first one is term. A term, we've talked about this before. A term can be a number, it can be a variable like R, or it can be the product or quotient of either a number and variable. So we could have like 5x is considered a term. 7 over R is a term, or R over 7 is a term. And like terms are terms that contain the same variable, meaning like terms are only things that can be combined together with the same letter, meaning I can't combine a 5t and a 3s. That's not going to work. But I could combine a 7x and a 4x because they both have an x. So I have to have the exact same letter and exact same exponent, meaning I can't take a 7x and combine it with a 3x squared. You cannot combine those because this one is just an x. This is an x squared. Simplest form means to put something in basically the easiest possible way to get it as crammed together as you can, really. It's taking everything that can be combined and combining it. Equivalent expressions, things that have the same this is that denotes the same number. Example, 5x and 7n, or sorry, 5n and 7n, they both have an n. And a coefficient is the number in front of the letters. So if the one it gives you 17xy, the coefficient is 17. Okay, we're gonna talk about distributing for a little bit. Distributing the steps. I call it shooting the rockets. Some people call it something different. It's how I was always taught was to call it shoot the rockets. So if I call it shoot the rockets, now you kind of understand. Then you're gonna combine the like terms and make sure it's in simplest form. So an example one would be like number one, shooting the rockets, meaning you're gonna go 8 times 10 and 8 times 4. So 8 times 10 is 80 plus 8 times 4, which is 32, and you're gonna get 112. Okay, and when you're shooting the rockets, it goes left and then it goes the right side inside the parentheses. Like this one, you're gonna go to the 12 first, which would be 72 minus 18. And that's going to give us a total of 54. So remember, you always go to the thing that's in the parentheses on the left side first, and then you go to what's on the right side. Okay, next one. 3. You're going to take this -6 and you're going to distribute it into the inside before we subtract, because if we do it after we subtract, we're going to get some really big numbers, and we don't want that. So first thing goes to the -6, so you have 40 minus 36, and then -6 times -2 is a positive 12. And this gives you 40 minus 36 is 4, plus 12 is 16. That's the distributive property. It's pretty easy to use, and it can be used for a lot of things. We're going to ignore this part up top, and we're going to talk about this part right here. A trick with math that I've kind of learned is when people ask you how to multiply something really big and you're like, oh, I can't do that in my head. Like if I was like, hey, what's 4 times 17? A lot of people are just like, well, I don't know, have a calculator. But the trick with math is if you use the distributive property, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, so like 5 times 49. If I asked any kid in the room at the time 5 times 49, they'd probably ask to use a calculator. Some of them might know it off the top of their head, but others, a majority are going to ask to use a calculator. When I see 5 times 49 in my brain, I see this as 5 times 40 and 5 times 9. And we're just going to add our answers together. So 5 times 40 would give me 200. 5 times 9 is 45. So when I look at this, 5 times 49, if I add these together, I get 245. And it works with any of them like that. Okay, if we tried another one, we're going to go 6 times 51. So I'm going to treat that as 6 times 50 and 6 times 1. Okay, 6 times 50 is 300. 6 times 1 is 6. So the combination is 306. Even if I did, like I said, 4 times 17. A lot of people, I'm going to treat that as 4 times 10 because of the 10. And 4 times 7. I'm breaking it into two parts. Like 49 was a 40 and a 9. 51 was a 50 and a 1. 17 is a 10 and a 7. So this gives me 40 plus 28 gives me 68. And that's just always a trick I've done and used when it comes to math. So if you're ever asked with a math problem, hey, what's 3 times 119? Well, you got 3 times 100, 3 times 10, 3 times 9, 300, 30, and 27. So we're just going to add all those together. 7, 5, 3. So 3 times 119 is 357. It's kind of just another way of breaking it up. Okay, you're just taking distributive property, just breaking something up to make it a little bit easier on you and your brain. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about is distributing with variables. Okay, so if we look at this first one, 5 times g. Well, 5 times g, I don't really get an answer out of, so that's just going to be 5g. Minus 5 times 9 is 45. Now, I can't combine these because there's a g here and there's no g here. So this is my answer. I'm done. Okay, same thing on the next one. 3 times 2x squared, 6x squared, because I can't do anything with those letters, plus 12x minus 1. And I can't combine anything because this has an x squared, this has an x, and this has nothing. So then this right here would be my answer. Okay, let's try another one. 5 times 6m, 30m. 5 times 4n, 20n. 5 times negative 3n, negative 15n. Now, I can't combine anything here, but I can combine those to give me 5n, because 20 minus 15. Then you're done. So that's what you're going to be working on today. Hopefully that makes sense.